Lots of experts looking at various high-frequency indicators to try to gauge what kind of ripple effect this is going to have through the global economy. Are investors and markets underestimating the impact? As I keep hearing the phrase V-shaped recovery, Mohamed El-Erian says it could look L-shaped or U-shaped.
Well, I think this is the very difficult question to answer at the moment. As you said at the top of the hour, there's very few high-frequency data points to look at the moment. The numbers we were getting out of Europe at the end of last week obviously were for December's number, and they were looking rather shaky, to say the least. I think we are looking for a reasonably decent recovery, but it's how quick that comes, I think, is the big question right now. You've had some fairly, not optimistic perhaps, but slightly better numbers from the virus over the weekend, saying perhaps some of the infection rates are starting to slow. Some of the opening of these companies as well, I think, is a little bit of good news. So I think we're going to get more of a sort of U-shaped recovery, but I think it will be a recovery, and I think China will stimulate and do all it can to ensure that recovery comes through quite strongly. And I think that's what investors are looking at, and that's why you're not really seeing any kind of panic at the moment in markets.
Benjamin, good morning to you. Yeah, Mohamed went on to expound back to 2008, where counterparty risk. The risk is about counterparty risk in the banking system, but we'll come back to that. The PBOC has injected liquidity and a gargantuan amount over the past 4 weeks, 2 trillion yuan. This liquidity boost that they are delivering, what is the most important ramification of that for markets?
So I think the ramification is whether that actually has impact on the real economy. But I think it does send a signal that the PBOC is going to do, and the rest of the China authorities are going to do everything they can. And I think that is something that will give sentiment a boost to markets going forward. So I think this is a very positive sign. I think the other thing we need to bear in mind is we're coming to the end of a 5-year plenum now, and we're coming to the end of a 10-year period where China has said that it's going to double the size of the economy, double GDP over that period. It needs to hit around about 6% this year to do that. So, as I say, I think they're going to do everything in their power to hit those targets, and the liquidity measures that we've seen so far suggest that they are going to do that. So I think that's a positive for sentiment going forward, even if you're a little bit shaky in the short term.